What's up, everybody? This is Nurse Blue. This is my channel, Soul Health with Nurse Blue, and I just want to say welcome. And I'm just here to live up to my name, baby. I'm here to build us, love you, unite us, and empower us about soul health. And I got something really important that I want to talk to y'all about because your girl, I have been struggling, and maybe perhaps you have as well. But first and foremost, so I don't waste your time, let me tell you who I'm really here for. I am here for women, girls that lead, and a few good men. Those of you who are leading households, businesses, communities. Your number one enemy to everything you're trying to build, girlfriend, is chronic stress. And here, this is where you come to defeat it. It always starts in the soul before it manifests in the body. So soul health is the solution. And I help you defeat your chronic stress with joy. So give me a thumbs up if you need to know about that life. Now, let me tell you what I'm coming after today, because it's creating chronic stress within me and perhaps some of y'all out there in the collective. And that's all this conversation that we are hearing about brother love. Well, brother love is not so loving after all, right? This is the one that we're talking about here. Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Puffy. Then he wanted to be known as Diddy. Then he wanted to be known as P Diddy. Then he wanted to be known as Brother Love. Well, honey, let me tell you something. I'm going to give you another name. It's called a warlock, because that's what you really are. And that's what I'm here to expose and talk about. And also unpack all of the harm that your filthy intentions and the music that you have used against our community, what it has done. Okay, so I'm a nurse. I'm here to clean it up and also share some insight that you may not have ever considered, because guys, anytime you're in the world of the entertainment business, you are in spiritual streets. Do you understand me? Which is why Puffy has done so much harm. It has been a major slap in our faces. And I'm here to deal with it. I'm here to process this trauma, because I know if I'm feeling it, many of you are feeling it. And let me just say this. For those of you who this is not probably impacting, I get it. This conversation may not be here for you, or you can stick around and just kind of learn another perspective. But let me tell you who this probably is helping, hurting, or impacting. This is impacting those of us who supported him. Those of us who went to his concerts, those of us who bought the CDs, those of us who played his music over and over and over again on repeat, especially during the early 90s when he was really kicking off, right? From Jodeci to Mary J. Blige to Craig Mack to Biggie to Faith to 112, all of them. We were there for it. And particularly women who obviously is the main victims in these cases or these allegations that have been made against him. So for those of you who are just landing here on planet Earth and you're probably like, Nurse Blue, who are you talking about? What's going on? Okay, sweetheart, let me make it really clear for you. There's a gentleman by the name of Sean Puffy Combs who has become probably one of the biggest moguls in the entertainment industry, particularly in the world of hip hop. And now his empire is crumbling. He's sitting in jail. And trust me, because of who and what he is and what he is clearly proven to be. And a lot of this is alleged from people who have been in business with him, who he has been in their life. But needless to say, this gentleman has done allegedly a lot of crimes against women and children. And as a nurse and as a wellness coach and as a woman that is here to create heaven on earth, I'm deeply disappointed that he slapped all of us in the face, right? And so the reason why this is so hurtful is because music has been a major part of my life, my entire life. I love the world of music. I do not like the entertainment business, but that was the business that my father was in when he was living here on planet Earth. He was in that business for 70 years. So the entertainment business was a large part of my life. And so I appreciate musical artists, because my father gave concerts and that was a part of our business. I appreciate the power of music because I've seen it bring our community together, and the healing that comes from music is something I support. As a musicologist, which is nothing more than a sound healer, that's a fancy word for sound healer. As a sound healer myself and a nurse that use this art form, I take it really personal. And right now, as we are watching the downfall of who we supported in our community, and when I say we supported, I'm speaking to the collective, but particularly specifically to the African American community, because our music has been a major part of what has shaped us in our community. Period. Our music has been our nutrition for our souls. Our music has been a source of power that brings about community. Just recently, we lost one of our major soul, I would say soul technicians, Frankie Beverly and Mays. And the reason why Frankie Beverly was so powerful in our community is because he created music that brought families together, that brought community together, that served as a healing force, right? So when he left us, we all felt that because he meant something to sustaining us through our lifetime with goodness, with joy, with wisdom. Okay. In the same way that Puffy became a part of our soul's development through the musical genre of hip hop, and R&B soul, as it evolved out of, I would say, the traditional era around Motown and Epic and all of those other record labels. He started to move into he shifted the paradigm of hip hop during the 90s and helped to shape us collectively through our entertainment experiences, right? So back in my years of college, like high school and college, this was a man who pretty much controlled the airways. Not controlled the airways in terms of radio stations or what have you, but throughout America. If you had a top 10 playlist, I guarantee you the majority of the songs that were on that playlist from the early 1990s all the way through the 2000s, his work was a part of it, which meant he was shaping our thoughts, the beliefs that we had about ourselves. Perhaps he was shaping the emotions. He was creating a culture around partying, creating a culture for us around, being cool or being rich or being successful, with his music as the background in hip hop that we were enjoying our life to, right? So it became a part of us. And it wasn't just him and his artists, but, other artists like Jay-Z, and then, the West Coast, they had their artists. But specifically, Puffy was a mastermind behind all of this. He was a genius behind it. So to see what is being revealed to us is like a slap in our face. Because how did he get there? How did we get there? We got there by being seduced by one of the most powerful art forms on planet Earth, music, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. So this leader in entertainment, this leader in this genre of music that was created by us and developed out of his home of New York, that has been taken around the globe as being a force of power. It was created to be a force of good, but because of people like him, it has been used as a weapon against us in so many ways. And I'm going to I'm going to unpack this in a few videos to just kind of show you how Puffy slapped us in the face in such a major way. But also, it takes us back to this idea that soul health is so important, because he used the tool knowing that the power of life and death is in the tongue. And so he used our music against us. And so he slapped us in the face. And many people are going to absorb this differently depending on how much you exchanged energy with Bad Boy, how much you supported him. And what I mean by exchange energy, I mean, just think about over the years when we were buying CDs. How many CDs did you purchase during that era? You know, how many concerts did you support? When he came out with Sean John or any of his other products, did you buy your kids Sean John? Did you tell your children to look up to him because he served as a figure of success? I mean, you know, a lot of times, particularly moms who might be single moms, right? And you may have limited access to positive male figures in your life. These are the people who we ask our children to look up to inspire them to become better in life, to inspire them to work harder, to inspire them to stay in school, to inspire them to go into business for themselves. Like men like Sean Puffy Combs or others in the hip hop industry are oftentimes the ones that we put on these pedestals for our children to look up to. And then this happens where this man is, you know, unfortunately, a source of deception, right? So I want to answer this question from based on what I can see. Why did Puffy do this to us? Well, the first reason why Puffy did this to us is because Puffy represents a soul technician that used his power, used his genius, used his talents against his people. Okay, so I call this a colonizer. And interestingly enough, he's alleged to be tied to crimes against humanity that has to do with SA. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say. So also trafficking. So the fact that he's operating from a colonizer standpoint means that he never really cared about people, because what he essentially was doing with the amount of influence he had in the industry, he was a warlock, right? And a warlock is someone who is kind of operates kind of like in the spiritual world, in the spiritual realm. And that's what we're talking about here, because anytime you're dealing with air, which is music, airways, which is, you know, the platforms in which we were able to, he was able to transfer and transmit his message into our souls. That's all kind of in the world of spirituality. He was operating as a warlock, which is kind of like a witch. And so his poison was music. His tool was seduction. And the principality that has been used in the world, that he was operating under, the principality that in his role that he was spreading through his music was greed, which he did a really good job of. And you can hear that in the music when he was always spreading messages around. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. I mean, love the beat, but the message is he still, through that message, was promoting greed. Also, you know, the way he, you know, pretty much abused women. You know, you can see that in how women were referred to in the messages of the music, as bitches, as hoes. I mean, he was a warlock. And so a warlock takes on the identity of a narcissist, a sociopath, where you really don't have feelings, compassion, because you're operating with a closed heart. So he operated as a warlock That means his heart chakra was very much closed down, and he used manipulation and charm to build connections that he could leverage, that would give him authority in the music industry. And, you know, when you think back to the Bible verse in Ephesians 6:12, it kind of speaks to it here. I'm looking at my notes here, guys. So let me put on my glasses. And it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So he was an enemy that he was an enemy that was being used against us, but not physically, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And so he was operating as a form of spiritual wickedness. That's what a warlock does, operates in a space of spiritual wickedness in high places. And so that would be the entertainment industry. And so he obviously was a soul technician that understood sorcery really well. And he used our airways to pollute us. And what I mean by pollute us, when you study the music of much of that time, and I'm not speaking of all of it, because what he did was he confused, you can balance out the frequencies. So some of the things that, you know, we heard the music at that time, you know, resonated with our hearts, and others, it was more lower frequencies. So he spread a lot of frequencies of fear through our music, frequencies that promoted murder, frequencies that promoted disrespect for women. Now understand that he is spreading this through song, so through the beat, which we are attracted to, but the messages that we are singing over ourselves, that we're being heard, played through our radio stations, it's all music to distort the way we see ourselves, see our communities, our behavior. That is why what he did was so sinister, because it wasn't just like, we didn't realize that we were being polluted with lower frequencies. And he knew this. That's why he was really able to reach the high ranks of whatever the agenda was. He never did care about us, because if he did, he wouldn't have participated in this kind of activity. And anyone who really participates in the world of selling drugs in our community, you can't sell drugs and love the community. You cannot be in the business of using a substance that is used to break down the body, that is used to take away from life, that is used to break up families, and say you love the community. That is the biggest form of cognitive dissonance that you could be in, right? So that by itself is one thing. And he clearly, you know, he's been in the world of drugs for many, many years. So he started out selling them. Then he promoted it through artists, through Bad Boy. And I mean, just by the nature of, you know, what he called his label, Bad Boy. You know, it's like he was hidden, but in plain sight, because that just goes to show you that this was designed for nefarious means, right? Subliminal means that would be self-destructive to his own community. And now we are seeing it, and we promoted this. We not only promoted this, we accepted this. And right now, as we are watching it crumble, I want you to understand that the person with this nature, Puffy, get ready, because he's going to expose everybody. That's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of nature of this spirit. If he's going down, he is going to expose every leader, particularly Black leaders, those that we've believed in, those that we've supported, who was a part of this activity. So there's some talks of Jay-Z playing a role. So for those of you who have had a relationship with Jay-Z's music and or what he's accomplished as a businessman. There's some things that's probably going to come out that's going to disappoint you. There's some talks around Steve Harvey. And quite frankly, when you look back on what happened earlier this year, when Cat Williams came on Club Shay Shay and had that incredible discussion with Club Shay Shay about the darkness in the industry. He was pretty much a prophet at that time. He showed us and told us about what was to come, right? And I think now it's at 75 million people that watch that. And so first it started with Cassie, then Kat, then some other things began to surface and come out. And so Puffy is in jail now. So again, he's probably, based on what has been shared, he's going to take down a lot of people. For those of you who have a relationship with Beyonce, don't be surprised if she ends up being exposed in this madness. There's been some talks online. I don't know how true this is, but for weeks now, it's been some talks around Beyonce and Jay-Z meeting with attorneys. Usually when that's the case, people are separating assets and getting ready and getting themselves prepared for what is to come. And a lot of figures who we have upheld in our community as people who we've supported, that we have given, we've recognized as powerful people that we are proud of. We've recognized and honored for the work that they have put forth. Many of them are going to be tied to this. And so I want to say to you and all of us, as we began to deal with this soul injury, we are going to feel a variety of feelings: betrayed, surprised, hurt. A lot of us are going to probably feel a great sense of distrust around this, because these are people that you believe in. And when you believe in people and want to see the best in them and support them, and it comes back that these people aren't who they said they were, or they've done some things against us as a collective, and they've operated as colonizers, literally stealing people's energy for gain, or doing something harmful, drugging people, hurting women, hurting children, doing things to prey on others against their will, asserting power over over other people's bodies for material gain. This is sinister activity. So when we get to a point when it starts being revealed at this level how our leaders have participated in this, there's going to be some soul injury around it. And here's a few things I want to help us to do to get past it. First and foremost, let's deal with it. Let's deal with it collectively, which is why I'm having this conversation here. I will be unpacking this for other videos, so make sure you give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you'll make sure you are part of, you get the videos as I release them. I want you also to become really intentional about the music you're listening to. Really intentional. The whole idea now of listening to music because you love the beat and the words are destructive to your mind, your emotions, our women, our children, we can't do that anymore. This is the time where we start intentionally doing things to repair our souls rather than participating in the same madness. And for those of you who want to do that, okay, that's you. But understand that is creating a soul health issue. Soul health issues also become manifested as physical issues, right? So everything happens in the soul first. You don't want to continue to take in that low vibrational content. All right. The second thing is I'm going to invite you to some of my sound therapy classes that I host on Clubhouse. I introduce people to fantastic music, all designed to build you, to love you, unite us, and empower us. And I'm going to be extremely intentional about introducing artists that can help us with our soul repair from this particular era. And I'm talking about music from the 1990s through the 2000s that have been purposely created as a weapon to be used against our community, used to incite fear, used to infuse anger, used to promote violence. This is the music that this mastermind, this sinister thought leader, this soul technician that we held up for many, many years. And as we see how this stuff is unraveling here, it is being revealed what kind of character this man had and how he injured many people in his personal universe. But when you sit back and you look at the music that he created, and not all of it, because for those of you who listen to Mary and who listen to 112 and listen to Faith Evans and others, that music is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the harmful music that was purposely created that connected us to him, whether it was through Biggie, whether it was through the Locks, I don't know. But a lot of what he produced and put out was designed to keep us in a low vibrational space, low vibrational frequencies, keep us in a state of fear, promote violence, promote perversion, promote things that is harmful to us in terms of creating chronic stress, right? Particularly if you're listening to it over and over and over again, which is what music is designed to do. It is designed to be, done in repetition. And that is why when you listen to radio stations, you're like, why are they playing it over and over and over again? Because music can be used as a spell. Okay, so obviously, with all that is happening, we got to get these soul toxins out. And when I talk about the soul toxins, that's real, right? So frequencies, low vibrational frequencies are soul toxins. And through his music, Puffy was able to deposit soul toxins of greed. All about the Benjamins, baby, right? Anger, lust, shame, which is where he was operating from in his life anyway. Anger, deception. So we want to intentionally do what we need to do. Remove this stuff from your playlist. Maybe some of you guys still want to hold on to it. That's up to you. But if I were you, if you are having a hard time processing like why this is happening, because this was the weaponry used against us. So start loving yourself back into health and choosing better music, okay? And also, if you need some help in learning about what this whole frequency health is all about, pick up my new book. You may want to start there with picking up Freedom is a Frequency. And you can find that on Amazon. So if any of this was making sense to you, and I hope it did, and you want to get on this soul health journey, and you really want to start cleansing your energy center so that you can be at a state of joy. See, this is why there are so many people out here struggling with mental health issues. It's because things like this, we need to be able to process, need to know how to process, because whether you know it or not, you may not know Puff Daddy personally, but you know Puff Daddy if you've ever been to one of his concerts, or if you've embraced his music, or if you looked up to him. And so this is kind of like a soul betrayal, right? And so, you might be wondering like why you kind of been off in your energy lately. Well, all of this attention around this, believe it or not, it impacts us all collectively. So you may want to come and join me for a soul massage. Download my Clubhouse app. If you click the link, it's going to lead you to the Clubhouse app. I Deserve Joy parties there. So let's restore our joy back to its natural state by releasing these soul toxins that we are feeling from all of this news coverage, but also these frequencies that we've taken in through this music. So that's a really great way to do it. Or come to a soul massage where we can go in deeper and do some meditation and really become intentional about what kind of music that we are going to accept into our life. What kind of artists are we going to support in our life? What kind of artists really are we going to give our energy, attention, and resources to? And I'm going to ask you to love yourself and choose better. Choose wisely. Stop choosing artists that are using their words to break down your soul. Okay? Find artists that love you and invest your time and your energy and your support, however that may show up for you. Support them with that. And if you, again, want to check out a sound therapy session, or more so than anything, if you've decided that you deserve joy, like you need it and you deserve it, and you really want to not just say that and feel that, you want to put some action behind that, join us for the next I Deserve Joy challenge. Click the link and sign up today so that you can go and learn the 5 simple steps to elevate every single thing in your life: your energy, your health, your relationships, your abundance, and your your joy. Elevate your joy. Learn the 5 simple steps to do it through the I Deserve Joy challenge. Okay, guys, look forward to seeing you soon. Again, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit your subscribe button so you can get more great information about soul health today. Oh, I'm sorry, not today, but in the future. Bye.